somebody who like listens to the podcast hit me up and they were like, I know you guys, like Chapo already does movie reviews, but you guys really should do movie reviews.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I don't know, but he goes, you guys should really do like, somebody needs to cover like all those old action movies, like Under Siege and shit. Yeah. And I was literally watching Under Siege.
It's one of my favorite movies.
While he messaged me to tell me that. Yeah,
that's incredible.
That's with the cook element, is because he's a cook in that movie. He plays a.
We were talking about that thing about like perfect moments, right?
Yeah.
About like, oh, you only get like 3 or 4 of these. Right. Like
when I predicted Buckaroo Banzai.
You predicted that. Okay, so I got my friend's brother sent me weed in the mail from Oregon, and I asked him what the name of the weed was, and his brother didn't text him back for like a couple hours. I said, I'm just gonna call it Death Star, and his brother texted him back like 2 hours later. He's like, yeah, it's called Death Star.
That's crazy.
Like, really, the bullshit about that is that people win the lottery, right?
Yeah.
You only get a couple of those in your life. And I just wasted it. I feel so like I just fucking.
Well, then there's also people that somehow get like AIDS from a paper cut.
That's true.
Some guy that works in an envelope factory. Gets paper cut AIDS. Under Siege is great. I've been going through. Last week I started watching. I'm trying to like watch everything that's ever won Best Picture.
Yeah, why?
I don't know, because I like need new shit to watch. That's how I find new shit to watch.
There's things to get into that weren't. Sorry to put on my Brooklyn, cool guy hat. But
I'm sure there are, but I have plenty of time.
Those movies are trash. A lot of them.
Yeah. But I have the time to do it.
Of course.
And then after.
What year are you at right now?
It's like spotty, so I just pick things.
Okay.
Because I've seen like the entirety of like the 1970s, most of the 1980s, and then 90s and 2000s.
Did Out of Africa win Best Picture?
Yeah, it did.
Have you seen that?
I haven't.
It's bad, right? It's
I don't know.
It's not that good, right?
Well, it's got Africa in the title, so my hopes aren't high for that one. But more like Stay Out of Africa. That's a movie I would watch. I didn't know Namibia used to just be part of South Africa until like 1990.
Yeah.
That it was just West South Africa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Zimbabwe used to be Rhodesia and have all different names.
Yeah.
Like Harare was Salisbury.
Zimbabwe was it? Yeah, Zimbabwe. What's the one that took the white people and then became a new place after Rhodesia became Zimbabwe?
Like all the white people. What are you talking about?
Because Mugabe kicked out all the white people basically from Zimbabwe, and then they went over to
South Africa. I don't know.
No, there's one next door that also starts with a Z.
Zambia.
Maybe. Yeah. Namibia, Zambia, Tia Tamara, Venus.
I don't know
Serena.
if I've said this on the podcast, but I lived in Africa when I was a kid.
Yeah, you live there, or your just parents are from Africa?
We moved back for a year and a half.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, when I was a little kid, I got the accent, and then like I came back and everyone's like, "You sound like such a South African."
Yeah, what's funny is because I always knew the name Rhodesia just from like having like geography jammed in my head.
The dog.
Is there a Rhodesian
Ridgeback? Is that a dog?
I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
But and then I didn't know until the Dylan Roof thing that's like a thing white supremacists associate with.
To go back to Rhodesia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were somehow even more racist than South Africa was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't let black people own any land or something, and I think it was even smaller white minority.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was. I mean,
I watched I watched a South African movie.
Which one?
Dust
Invictus?
Devil. No, Dust Devil.
What's that?
It's I watched. Have you seen Lost Souls, the Richard Stanley documentary?
No.
It's a documentary about Richard Stanley's remake of The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh yeah,
in like 1996. Yeah. So it's if you haven't seen it, it's fucking great because it's all about all the crazy shit Brando was doing towards the end of his career.
Right.
Like
Fat Brando.
Yeah. So Brando was like notoriously difficult to work with at this point, and Richard Stanley had directed 2 or 3 movies at this point.
Wait, just as an aside, was it you who told me that in The Siege he did wear pants the entire time?
The score. Yeah, somebody told. I read that online. Yeah, they had to shoot him from the waist up because he refused to wear pants.
He's just wearing moo-moos.
Yeah, but then if you watch the movie and like the first scene he's in, immediately you can see him wearing pants. So that one's not true. But there are a bunch of other.
I want to believe that's true.
There are a bunch of other Brando things. Like he on the island of Dr. Moreau, he like invented this weird hat that had a bucket on top of it, so he could pour ice in it and cool off his head. Yeah. And then they had to like just let him wear that while they were shooting the movie because he didn't want to take that bucket filled with ice off his head. It's the documentary's great. It covers like all this shit. I mean, I guess like we have fucking time to kill. You know, I can tell you all. I can just give you the play by play.
Let's go.
Yeah. So it's great. It not just for the Brando shit, but like Richard Stanley directed like 2 or 3 movies at that point. His like breakthrough into the mainstream was this movie Hardware. Because prior to that, he had been like a music video guy, and he made Hardware.
What year was this Island of Dr. Moreau?
1996, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Hardware was 1990, and he made Dust Devil in between the two. But yeah, so I think New Line was gonna make the Island of Dr. Moreau, and they were like wary about hiring Richard, and then they like got a couple of people on board with it. They got Brando on board with the project and Val Kilmer, and then they decided to replace Richard Stanley.
My favorite actors of all time. I mean, both of them, actually.
They decided to replace Richard Stanley, and Richard Stanley, like, had a temper tantrum about it and, like, went to go see Brando. And for some reason, Brando, like, took the meeting, you know, in his, like, bizarre castle on, like, Mulholland Drive or wherever the fuck he lives. He was neighbors with, like, Jack Nicholson. They live on, like, the top of the hill. Mm-hmm. And they're, like...
And Harry Dean Stanton?
Probably. He's been in so many fucking movies. Yeah, you know, he's still in movies. He has like 4 movies coming out this year.
Yeah.
And he's like 90.
He's a legend.
He's 92 or 93 years old. Have you seen Paris,
Texas?
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Well, I don't know why the fuck. But
you wanted to
we're supposed to be
the entire plot of the Island of Dr.
We're supposed to be doing jokes, dude. What the fuck is this?
We're not being funny. We're
not being funny. This is turning into...
Stop here.
No, we don't need fucking stop here. This is turning into regular podcast territory.
Yeah. Let's talk about funny stuff, dude.
Man,
we gotta be mean.
I watched 5 minutes of The View the other day, and they're talking about
those cunts.
They're talking about like is Whoopi's like a new study says that sex on average only lasts 7 minutes, and then all of them are like, oh hell no, you know. And then, like, you know, 2 of them are hot. I don't know what they always have, like, one woman on the show. A hot conservative, yeah. They got a hot conservative Latina now.
Woo!
Yeah.